This episode is brought to you today by Whitehall Mortgage, where there's a will, there's a Whitehall. Buying a home starts by getting a pre-approval, and nobody does it better than Doug in Dallas. Call them today at 570-562-7505 or apply online at whitehallmortgagefinancial.com. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Wychuck. I'm the host of the Real Estate Right Now podcast, and today's podcast episode is for you, the home buyer. I think there's a lot of people out there who wanted to buy homes and kind of put that search on the back burner. They left the post-COVID housing market. They kind of thought that they would come back when the time was right or whatever it may be. Or maybe it's just people that are now starting to come into that age where they want to buy a home. Maybe they got married. Maybe they are more stable in their career, whatever it may be. And what I'm going to tell you is the home buying market in 2026 is really going to experience a lot of different things. I think you have to have a plan for that. So I wanted to kind of throw out my 2026, and I know we're not there yet, but we always live in the future in real estate. My 2026 Homebuyer Playbook. First and foremost, what do you need to know? Like if you're going to buy a home, if this is going to be the year that you purchase a home, what do you need to know? Well, here's the first thing you need to know. Affordability is still going to be pretty tight in 2026, all right? Mortgage rates are expected to go down. All right, but they're not going to go back into that 3 and 4% range. All right, that's not going to happen. I think for the most part, they're going to be in the 6s. I mean, hopefully they get into the 5s, but I certainly wouldn't count on that. And I think you might see home prices in hot markets. It's still going to be going up a heck of a lot slower than they have, but I still think affordability is going to be pretty tight. What we're starting to see is that inventory is improving. It is improving slowly, but it's not shrinking anymore, all right? We're starting to see houses on the market a little bit longer. That can create some real opportunities for home buyers to start winning, not only in the price negotiation, but also with some concessions as well. One thing for 2026, especially if you left the market a little while ago, home buyers need to be prepared to pay their agent directly, all right? That's the new way to do it, all right? So home buyers are now paying their agents. Sometimes sellers are offering compensation, but as a home buyer, you need to be prepared to pay your agent unless there's some other way that you can build it into, fees into the closing cost assistance, buyer agency assistance, whatever it may be. Competition's going to be regional, all right? And I think that's so important, right? Because home buyers, I know the tendency, you want to read the articles. What do I need to know about how? And you read the articles and says, well, the market's slowing down or whatever. That article might be on the West Coast or Southern Florida and you live in Ohio. All right. That's not what you need to do. The competition, the market, real estate is local. So my advice is, especially what do you need to know? You need to know enough to hire a great buyer agent that can help you understand what's happening in the market in your neighborhood, because at the end of the day, that's where you want to buy a house. And your credit and your savings, they matter. All right. So if you want to buy a house in 2026, now's the time to start bulking up your savings. Now's the time to pay close attention to your credit score. Don't be taking out new lines of credit, things like that. Make sure you're paying those bills on time. All of those things are going to help you be a home buyer in 2026. Now, what are some of the things that you need to do that you could start doing right now? Number one, get pre-approved. Get pre-approved early. Know exactly what you can afford, know exactly what your payments will be, know what you're willing to pay, and that's going to refine your search. All right? Always get that pre-approval out of the way. Budget beyond your down payment. All right? So many times, and I see people come and they say, hey, Dave, I have enough money to put on a down payment. Great. Do you have money for closing costs? What are closing costs? Well, if you don't have money for closing costs, you might have to find a seller who's willing to include them in your purchase price. Some might not. So start budgeting beyond the down payment. Start having some money set aside for closing costs or repairs or cosmetic changes that you may want to make. This goes hand in hand with the pre-approval. Work with a great buyer's agent. Find someone who's a great negotiator. Find someone who's willing to go above and beyond. Someone who not only has ability, but availability as well. All right. You don't want to wait on homes because your buyer agent is unavailable. And a great buyer agent, trust me, because I said you're going to start paying your agents directly. A great buyer agent is worth every penny. They will save you money. They will help you through the process, and they will help you get into the house that you actually want to get into. So work with a great buyer agent. Also, explore some assistance programs that might be available to first-time home buyers. Some banks offer down payment assistance or closing cost assistance or whatever it may be. If that's something that appeals to you, start doing the research on that. First and foremost, first-time home buyers, be flexible with your criteria, okay? Very few people buy a house and live there for the next 65 years. It really doesn't work like that. So look for those up-and-coming neighborhoods, right? Don't buy the 3,000 square foot house. Buy a smaller home because you don't need a huge home right now. Buying now is going to help you build equity, all right? And 5 years from now, when you look to upsize or when you look to move into a different neighborhood or whatever it may be, you'll be thankful that you got in. So be flexible with that criteria. So where are the biggest opportunities? I mean, there's a lot, right? There's going to be some opportunities in new construction. I think there's going to be some opportunities out in the suburbs and definitely with markets with population growth. But the one thing that I really want to focus on, because I think this is a mistake that many first-time homebuyers make. They want houses that are move-in ready, picture perfect day one. And I completely understand why that is. But please, if you're a first-time homebuyer, don't rule out a fixer-upper. Don't rule out a house that has some cosmetic issues, because if you can buy one of these houses and you can renovate it while you live there, you win almost every single time you do that as a first-time home buyer. Because not only will that give you an opportunity to build equity with your purchase, it's also going to help you build equity with appreciation. When you renovate the kitchen, when you renovate the bathrooms, when you put down new floors, a fresh coat of paint, whatever it is, address the landscaping. That's how you're going to build your equity that you can then apply to the next home that you buy, because many first-time home buyers, you're going to buy a next home as well. And if you do a great job with your purchase of your first home, that equity makes buying that second home so much easier. So what do you need to do? Get prepared. Get prepared now. The buyers who get prepared have a competitive edge in the market in 2026. Please do not wait for the perfect home, all right? Get into the market now. Build equity now, and know that when it comes time to move up in the future, you'll be ready and you'll be operating from a position of strength. And the best opportunities, in my opinion, out there are those fixer-uppers. And I know you want a move-in ready house. I hear it literally all the time. But if you have the tolerance and you have the ability to buy a house that needs a little bit of cosmetic work, you will be thankful when it comes to selling that house in the future, when you're buying your next home, which could very well be your dream home. You will never lose in a situation like that. That's all for today. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychak at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.